Thank you, Gitonga, for those warm words. To the chairman of the Media Owners Association, the CEO of National Media Group, and my boss, Stephen Gitagama. To the vice provost, I see that he has left, but I believe that he remains with us in the room. To the dean of GSMC, the Director of Academic Affairs, Dr. Nancy Buka, my friends from the Kenya Media Stakeholders Working Group. I see the Secretary General of the Union of Journalists here, Eric Oduor, and the Chair of the Correspondents Association. Good morning. First, my apologies. I think for a minute I forgot that Parklands is a construction site. So about to pay that price, but I hope I'll be forgiven. My role this morning really is to just share with us why we at the Guild found it useful and necessary to enter into a partnership with an institution like the AKU GSMC. The context of media, as we always knew it, has changed in significant ways. And I think that's today as cliche as they get, because every single such meeting, that message is repeated ever and ever again. But at the Guild, what that became clear for us is that the place of journalism in a democracy such as ours changes significantly due to this disruption that the media is going through. For decades, for many, many years, the debate whether journalism is a profession, a trade, or even a calling has persisted and remained with us. And the main reason for that debate was always driven by the need to make sure that journalism is as inclusive as possible, so that anyone who feels the urge, who gets the need to participate, finds room, finds opportunity to share their ideas in a fairly open plane of, under the banner of freedom of expression. And there are good reasons for that, because those in power many times had reason to stop or to control or to regulate or to manage how ideas moved amongst the people and amongst the various institutions. It also was a major challenge in that many tools and means of publishing tended to be fairly costly. It took quite a bit of intense capital outlay to set up a television station, to set up a print media, and even to set up broadcast radio stations, as it were. But the reality today, as we all know, is very, very different. In less than 2 minutes or so, a big majority of our population are able to publish their ideas, to publish their views, and get those ideas and views to travel many, many miles around the world. So that at a core level, today it is possible for a big portion of the public, if not the entire public, to get to publish. I raise that because it drives the question to us in journalism: what then is our role today, given that everybody else can share their ideas? Without boring us, Our role cannot be merely to inform. It has to take a lot more than just passing and distributing information. And for us at the Guild, that then drives the need to make sure that as journalists, we keep the learning happening. We keep going back to class. And we keep taking in new knowledge, because it's only then that we will stay relevant and we will deliver value to the audiences and make a difference in the lives of our audiences. 3 years ago, the Guild held its first convention. And in one of the sessions, there was a fairly heated debate between the professors in journalism schools and practitioners. And the core question then was, how does the academy help the industry navigate the change that it must do today? I think it's a very, very good morning for us to sit here today and see one product of that debate. This year, in April, members of the Editors Guild at our annual general meeting did pass the policy on continuous professional development, which basically means that editors in Kenya have embraced this approach. And we see the partnership that we enter into today with the GSMC as the critical first step in bringing that CPD program to life. We've chosen to call it continuous journalism education. And for us, it's critical in delivering a key pillar of our mission, which is to drive professional excellence. A short sentence, but heavily laden with new values, in that the Kenya Editors Guild sees journalism as a profession. There is never any profession that exists and thrives without standards. Yeah? Our core standard is the Code of Conduct or Practice of Journalism in Kenya, but we must also now drive ourselves and aspire to higher levels. The CJE, as we know it, has 4 main objectives. But the main vision is that we'd like to provide opportunities for our members to continually develop and improve skill sets and knowledge necessary for the effective and efficient performance of their strategic leadership roles and job-related tasks, and for the adaptation of changes and strategies in the workplace. To do that, we hope that through this partnership, we'll put the CJE in practice to help editors promote their professional career development, and indeed all journalists in our nation. And 2, to enhance journalistic professionalism, credibility, and integrity among the journalists in Kenya. And 3, to enhance the strategic and operational capacity of journalists in Kenya so as to grow the public trust in the media in Kenya. And finally, to promote ethical leadership of newsrooms and promote adherence to the code as we know it. Those are the 4 pillars that the CJA stand on for us, and those are the 4 key objectives that we hope that through this MOU that we signed today, we'll find ways to give them life. There is no argument anymore that continuous professional development is necessary to advance the careers and for personal development, not just of editors, but of journalists in Kenya. Continuous learning presents obvious and direct benefits to us as journalists and to us as editors, helping many of us to develop and redevelop our skills as the landscape changes, as we continue to embrace more digital media, digital journalism, as it were. We believe CJE will contribute to journalists' own capacity and success, and that of their organizations, be it the employers or be it their associations. It should be implemented as a way of advancing journalism education and ensuring journalists possess the necessary skills and knowledge that will see our media thrive. The Council of the Kenya Editors Guild, and I'm happy some of the council members are here. The Vice President of the Editors Guild is here. Good morning. The member for print. Good morning. Has given CJE a structure and rules. One key point for the structure for us is that we would like to see this CPD take a blended learning approach. And through that then utilize and give structure to formal, informal, online, and on-the-job training. We've taken a policy decision that we will partner with other professionals and other training institutions to draw a program tailored to the various cadres of journalists and the various cadres of editors. Because we are at different levels, we have different needs, and we must make sure whatever we deliver is useful for those who end up getting into the program. The Guild's Innovation Committee will be defining minimum contact hours, and these shall then constitute how the points are gained, and they'll also then define for us what the minimum requirements for one to sustain their membership in the Guild would be, insofar as enforcing the CJE is. Approved sessions and all platforms shall be provided where journalists can consult and read documents, watch videos, take part in workshops, take online courses, and do assessments and other learning methods. But we know editors don't exist in an island of their own. We are part and parcel of an industry and part and parcel of a society. The success of the CJE program, and therefore the success of this partnership that we signed today too, depends quite a bit also on our associates. Many of them in the room through the Kenya Media Stakeholders Working Group, depends quite a bit in the role played by the regulator. It depends quite a bit in the role played by the media managers, and I'm happy the Media Owners Association is with us this morning. And indeed the government and even Parliament. We think that in a fairly short time, this should actually become mandatory for the practice of journalism. But we will need to debate that in broader platforms and see how then do we make sure that that is helpful, not just for the industry, but also for individual journalists. We know the idea needs buy-in and support from media houses, media companies, from the journalists themselves, many of whom might not be members of the Guild, from the government, and indeed from Parliament, because ultimately there will have to be some force of law that gives it sustenance over time. But within the Guild, as of April, this idea is in force, and it now behoves those of us in the Council to implement it. And several decisions have been taken, and today one of those decisions comes to life, just to make sure that members get then up sufficiently guided to know how then to move forward. We've taken a decision that come the 1st of January 2022, the CJE will become mandatory for continuance of members and for access to member benefits in the guild. And we believe as editors then that is a responsibility we must take and we must have to help lead the industry and prepare it to confront and face the challenges that it must do. I'd like to thank Dean Pintock and Joe Dindo, with whom we worked very closely, and the chair of the Innovation Committee of the Guild, Professor Nyabuga, who could not be able to join us this morning because they've been very critical in helping us craft and get a point of agreement between the Guild and the school. And I believe that together, many good ideas should come and should have a successful leading of the industry. Thank you.